Lesson 2 of cognitive models of depression. We look at rumination, which comes out of response styles theory. So students should know what it is and why it leads to depression. Classic what-why structure. Quick quiz. Sometimes the old-fashioned stuff just works the best. Here's 5 questions. Can they answer it? All right, we'll go through the answers. And then let's see. In a blank page in the back of the workbooks, we'll just give them a blank piece of paper. Can they diagram Beck's theory? What are the 3 factors? Can they answer these questions? Okay. All right. Now, I've included a fictional case study in the workbook. Students read it. And who do they think is more likely to develop depression? I think probably should be able to figure out it's Sarah. And then we explain gender differences in depression, and that's usually a 2-to-1 ratio. And why? Why do they think girls have a higher rate of depression than men? And today we're going to look at one possible reason. And so a bit of chalk talk, getting to coping and what rumination is, as opposed to distraction. And then we come back to our case study and look, Paul was distracting himself, Sarah was ruminating, and girls tend to ruminate more, which could be a possible difference in the explanations for depression. Okay, now we get into the how do we know? And we explain to students, look, we could use this experiment, we could do this, but then get them to think, why not? Why would we not run this kind of experiment? 1 minute's usually enough for a think, pair, share. The old kitchen timer works really well to keep track of the 1 minute, and hopefully they come up with, I think my guess would half the students would figure out, well, we can't really run an experiment on things that we think are going to cause depression. And that's the thing. We can't really run experiments on hypothetical causes of mental health problems. And understanding this is really valuable for when they talk about research in their essays. Okay, so here we talk the reason why not. Okay, so we can't. But there are studies that show rumination is high for depression. So how do they think? How would they run these studies? And then there's space in the workbook. Okay, and it's simple correlational studies. That's one method that could be used. Okay, so we can chalk and talk that. And here is an example. Okay, simple correlational studies. So I really think understanding correlational studies and experiments is so valuable. Those 2 methods to focus on for the research methods in paper one essays, I think is really helpful. Same in the old curriculum too. All right, so workbook notes, and that is a very straightforward explanation of rumination. Somewhere in this unit, we do look at, it's later when we talk about gender differences in prevalence rates. It's kind of interesting. Men die by suicide more, but women attempt suicide more. And so it's a 2-to-1 ratio of female to male depression. Does that mean it's twice as many females have depression, or just twice as many are diagnosed with depression? It's an interesting discussion. Also on this note, I'm not afraid of the difficult topics, and I think I've written this somewhere. Talking about suicide and depression. I think for me personally, I think it's okay to tackle these head on with our classes, but of course, if you feel not comfortable doing this, you have to adapt that to what you feel comfortable teaching. Okay. All right. Now, homework, 7-minute video on how to stop ruminating. I thought this was a really, really good video. They take notes on what it is and how they can stop. And then tomorrow's class, I'll have to answer those questions. Then we get into environmental factors.